Let me feel your love again.
Let me tell you about like my primary school experience. So when I went to primary school, so I went to a couple of primary schools because like we encountered like transfers because of my dad's jobs. But the very one I have like the most memory of is like the very last one I went to, and so that is what I'm going to be talking about. So in that school, I didn't wear like the uniform everyone was wearing. So I had to wear something like a jumpsuit just to cover up my legs. So I sometimes I think that I mean the need to even do that at that point is what has even affected me up until now, because I always feel like I have to cover up. Whoever made a decision, whether my parents or the headmaster, it came from a good place because I was getting a lot of stares. I think I remember even going home to make a complaint about how people were talking about me and all of that, and that's what even made us like go into like wearing like the jumpsuit kind of thing. So it was like a trouser, but I don't know if you remember that the Ghanaian uniform, but it had like a pinafore thing. So I had like the pinafore thing. So let me say it was rather like the whole car wash outfit. So I had to always cover up my legs just because it was probably the most comfortable thing for me at the time. And maybe if I had grown up not covering up at all, I would not have had the mentality that, oh, it needs to be covered up. I don't know if you get it. I'm not saying that it was bad for me at the time. I know it was done for the right purposes, but I'm saying that maybe that is what has put it in my mind that I should always like try to cover up, and I've grown with that. Although I'm breaking free from it now. Yeah. So for the longest time, you would find me like wearing trousers, long tresses, because I thought I had to cover up. But then it dawned on me that whether you cover up or not, people are still staring. What are you covering up for, really? So I think it's just like a mentality thing. But also, I'm not saying that if you have like a physical condition, you should not hide it. It does what makes you comfortable. By all means, go ahead. Like, if you think that, oh, concealing it, because even people conceal scars they have, like minor scars from like burns, and some of them are even like hard to see. So you can imagine, like, if you have something that is very prominent, very evident, like it's announcing itself wherever you go, you can imagine like the need for like a person to want to conceal it. Like, you can't really blame us or me. Let me speak for myself. So the next thing would be people making choices for you or decisions for you, and that didn't sit well with me because I was a part of the Girls Guides Association, and one person told me that, oh, I think you should go and join the Red Cross instead. Like that would be better for you. And we were like really young at the time. I didn't get it. Like, what makes it different for me to like? Why do I have to go and join the Red Cross Society? Is it that, oh, so if I happen to fall down one day, my my association can pick me up and then quickly attend to me? Like, what is this? And that was my interest. I've never been interested in being a part of the Red Cross Society. I wanted to be a part of the Girls Guides Association, and you tell me this. So I was wondering, like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can you be here and I can't be there? It just didn't make sense. So that, like, not that particular comment, but comments like that also affected the way I lived my life. So in an area, or like if you find me in any community or any society wherever I found myself, I realized that I, w- I would rather keep to myself. I would rather be in my lane. Even if it was something I was interested in, I will not do it because I think that the people in it will think that I don't fit there and all of that. So not that particular statement, but things around our region. Statements like that have also contributed to like the way I grew up, and then the decisions I took for myself, and then the fact that I couldn't, like, it just enhanced the timidity in me the more. Like, things like that would only make you more timid, because I was already very timid as a child. But when you grow up hearing things like that make you feel like unwanted in certain areas, it's just going to make you the more timid. So, like, that's one example. I don't want to give too many examples, just for the video to be short enough. Primary GHS was like basically the same school, so like the experience was like that, but people got used to me. I think in my school, I think that in my GHS experience there was a lot of discrimination. Like, a lot of discrimination. People looked down on you, and if you were not a certain type of person, forget, like, nobody's even going to pay attention to you. Luckily, I had my twin, and like, it was my twin and I think God placed him in my life for a reason. Like, and that is one of the reasons, because yeah, people hardly want to be friends with you if you are not like a, I don't want to really get into it, but like, yeah, if you're not a certain type of person, they don't want to associate with you. And so, yeah, that's one of the things I can remember from my GHS experience. So at school, I think that like, I didn't find a lot of people like me in school. Like, you'd see like just a couple of people. In high school, I experienced one person. Primary, I experienced one person. Yeah, so you don't see a lot of people like me, and then I'm so grateful for my parents for offering me the opportunity to like get an education. So, like, I've heard about stories where people are like locked up in their rooms because they have a certain physical condition. And how unfair is that? Like, that is so unfair. It's like the worst thing you could do to anybody. If you're a guardian or parent and you are listening to this, I think, like, if you ever have a child who eventually develops or developed a physical condition from birth, or eventually developed it, I, like, the last thing you would want to do is to deprive the child of an education, because you, like, your brain is not your leg or your hand or like whichever part of your body is like going through the condition. Like, you, I don't even know where to start. Like, this whole topic really, really pisses me off. It pisses me the hell off. I don't know. I really feel very emotional talking about this particular topic, especially because I've heard like really terrible stories of how people had to even like force their kids to give up even if they wanted to go to school, which doesn't sit well with me. But like, I'm very grateful to my parents, because I have been able to, like, despite all the challenges that come with schooling and all of that, I've been able to achieve some form of education, if not a lot. Yeah, so I have been able to achieve quite a lot of education, and they're totally up for it. So, like, they would always encourage you to pursue education, um, and however they can support you, they would support you. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I am like lucky to have had that sort of exposure. So yeah, it's just a lot of things in, like, when it comes to like schooling as a person living with a physical condition, it's challenging in itself. Like, but thanks to like a great support system, I've had like some good grounding when it comes to education. So yeah, um, also when it comes to like getting an education, for like how people take it, if they see that you have a physical condition, some people don't think that you even deserve an education at all. So I remember one time I had a surgery done. I had a surgery done when I was in GHS2. And then I went to stay somewhere. Like after the surgery, I had to do some therapy of some sort. So where I went to stay, there's this woman who was really mean. Really mean. It's like encountered a lot of mean people, but can you blame me? People are just yeah. So she was quite mean. I don't know what I ever did because I was really young. There was nothing I could have ever done to her, but I mean, she treated me the way she wanted to treat me, and I got through with it. So while I was there for the therapy, what happened during those times is that so based on my condition and then the surgery they did for me, according to them, they were supposed to put me on some sandbags. So what happens with a sandbag situation is that I'm supposed to lie on this very big mat that was there for like everyone, and then once I lie on the mat. They put the sandbags at some places. So like one was on my hip, I think one was like on my back, and then one was on my foot. So I had to do like each of them weighed like 5 kilos or more, because it was in a sack and sewn. But from what I remember, they looked like 5 kilo bags. So yeah, I had to be on that like for morning, then go for lunch. Unless of course I had to do lunch, breakfast, supper. I would sleep in that position for like the entire day until like 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. And it was like a whole boarding house situation. So at 5 p.m. you go and take your shower, come for dining, like that whole experience. During like our days there, and there was a school close by, and I think some of the teachers came around to volunteer to teach us. So I mean I was in GHS at the time, but like the teachers that were coming were only focused on class 1 to 6, and so they were having like a reading session one day, and I was going to join the reading session, but the woman called me and like she pulled me back and said, oh, and I wasn't like going to sit for the session. I just like lifted my head a bit, and I was like going through the session with them, like the reading session with them, and this woman came and yelled at me. She scolded me, and she told me that, oh, I should forget about school. It's not necessary for me. So yeah, people just don't think that you deserve, or not. I'll not even say deserve, or you fit into certain spaces if they realize that you have like a physical condition or whatever is going on with you. So that just comes across to me as unfair, and if I'm not being too harsh, inhuman, because before the person's physical condition, the person is a human being, and the person has needs, the person has dreams and aspirations, and no matter whether it's even an intellectual challenge the person is having, there's always a way out for people. Like, so for me, I don't think there's any limits, especially when it comes to like getting an education or achieving whatever you want to achieve. I don't think there is any limit. So yeah, it's quite sad, but yeah. So the next thing we'd be looking at is, let me quickly refer to my book, public spaces. So public spaces, I don't know, but I think we can do better in Ghana when it comes to like our public spaces situation. Because you, well, that like I mean, with the new buildings that are coming up lately, I think that like you are likely to find a disability friendly space. Disability. Um yeah, like you're likely to find those with the very modern buildings lately, but a lot of public spaces do not afford you the necessary comfort you need to access a lot of places. So in my experience, the last university I went to, my very first class was upstairs, and it was like ground floor, first and second floor. So it was like a 3-story essentially. And imagine if I could only move with a wheelchair, or I couldn't even move by myself unless somebody had to carry me or something of the sort, or even climbing the staircase would make me feel pain somewhere or whatever. Imagine how I'd have coped. Doesn't mean that I'll not be able to get the education that I needed to get, or I'd have to spend all my time going from school to school to go and check how well the buildings are equipped for people like me. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this problem for myself alone. I'm going to make it a very general one, because the fact that I could manage to use the staircase does not mean that everyone else can do that. Like, a lot of people in some conditions cannot do that. And I mean, sometimes the conditions are not very evident, but somebody may be going through chronic back pain. Climbing a flight of staircase could prove very difficult and even injure the person the more. So I think that they should be very friendly, so it's a conversation we really should have, and we really should make authorities hear about this, because I think we should even have like a standard for like buildings, public buildings, so that people, like the stakeholders of the institutions, would ensure that those measures are put in place to cater for the needs of people who cannot use their normal routes. So yeah, I think it's one thing that I've had. Well, for me, it's not really a challenge, but it's a challenge for me in the sense that I try to think about other people who find themselves in a situation where they can't climb a staircase, and or they can't wheel their wheelchairs on the, I mean, yeah, the staircase. Like, it's just sad. So far, this is what I want to share with you guys. There's a lot more I want to share. I want to share like a lot more. But yeah, I'll do that along the way. If yeah, I don't want to give any conditions, but like, yeah, I'm hopeful that I'll share a lot more of my journey along the way. And if you enjoy videos like this and want to know more about this journey of mine, I'm willing to share. Although I'm not very prepared, but like, I'm willing to share. So just let me know, and I would make it happen. Yeah. So I don't know. I've been asking that you share, subscribe, and like my video, but I don't know. But I'm going to like leave this to you totally. Like, if you enjoy the content that you see here, feel free to subscribe. If you enjoy the content that I've shared with you, and you think that someone may benefit from it, feel free by all means to share with a person. Yeah, this is like my fourth or fifth video. Fourth, I think. By all means, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. It will go a long way to help me and my channel grow, and I'll really appreciate it. I'd also like to say that the fact that I have spoken about a lot of negatives, so this is just my experience. I didn't intend in any way to like make this a negative filled video. I was just sharing experiences that have affected me one way or the other, and I don't intend to make any, it's about being, I don't intend to come across as a very negative person, because I'm not going to lie, I've had a lot of nice experiences as well, which I'll definitely share, just not in this video. So like, just watch out for all of them. Yeah, so just so you know, this is not supposed to be like a negative, me being negative about myself or about my experience whatever. It's just my experience on the surface of it, and I hope, yeah, you like the story. If you have any experiences you'd want to share with me, I'm totally happy to hear from you. Like, just leave a comment and in the comment section below, and yeah, see you later. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Bye.